Hey everybody, welcome back to Work in Progress Gaming. So we are look, I really want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting. I know that we are going through a lot of I'm working this out. I'm learning this myself. This is something that I've never really done before. And so I'm still learning as well. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I really appreciate every single one of you who has been tuning along, following in, and I'm really excited to keep doing these. Um, I think we're going to change the format up a little bit more because we're still experimenting. We're going to try some new stuff. But today I want to talk about the Noise Marines. I want to talk about the Noise Marines because I looked back at my video from 10th edition that kind of was able to stay applicable in the new edition, but I realized there was a couple of problems. So let's jump right in. Let's figure out what's going on with these Noise Marines and let's talk about it, okay? Well, I don't know why I sounded like a dad there for a second. Um so first of all, one of the biggest change, because the interesting thing about how the Emperor's Children changed, right, in the new edition was very specifically it was about the core rules. We changed with the core rules. We got better because the core rules were better for us, right? And so I personally believe that this was a faction written for 11th. And so there was things that just didn't really interact with it super well in 10th, and now there's ways that it interacts a lot better in 11th. So one of the big things that I first want to talk about when it comes to the Noise Marines is the fact that there was a way of keeping the Noise Marines safe in my last video on them, talking about how you could have two guys outside of cover and then have the saves be on the guys in cover. That unfortunately is no longer a thing. So when we do benefit of cover needs to be on the entire unit at all times, right? So either the target is on an objective plate fully, or you are off the terrain plate, but you cannot see the entire unit, right? And it has to be behind like their dense terrain pieces. So those are the big problems, is that being behind those dense pieces no longer allow you to jump out, right? And still gain that benefit of cover. If you do that, no benefit of cover, because it has to be that thing of like only like one model can be seen, kind of, but you can't do that jump out thing where you jump two guys out, take the rest of the guys saves at cover, because the whole thing with cover is just you would then have to decide eligibility for cover. So two guys being out in the open means that you've lost the cover. So let's forget about that little thing and think about the other thing that we can do. We ignore cover. We completely ignore cover. So there's big benefits for us to be a little bit more aggressive with Noise Marines. One, because of the 15-inch low knot rule now from Hidden. And also the fact that plunging fire is something that is going to make Noise Marines really, really, really strong. So let's jump into that. Let's dive into that and let's see what these Noise Marines can do with the new changes in 11th. So with the new changes in 11th, right, let's forget everything that we talked about in that old video and go on to the new stuff. So the best way of keeping your Noise Marines defended is by keeping them off terrain plates until they're ready, right? If you've got a place where you can keep them out of line of sight, you can do really well. But question, right? Nick, what do I do if I need to get my Noise Marines on terrain plates and onto terrain? That's a great question. That is where plunging fire is going to make these Noise Marines really good. Plunging fire is a new rule added with 11th edition that allows your unit that has a shooting ability to go up to a second floor, and then if they are shooting down at a unit, they gain +1 to their ballistic skill. So what does that mean for the Noise Marines? Well, that means that the two Blastmaster guys can jump onto the second floor of a building and then are able to shoot down, gaining +1 to hit, or not, sorry, not +1 to hit. They're getting +1 ballistic skill, essentially allowing them to hit on twos. Now, you're probably like, Nick, that's pretty strong, but with cover changing as a -1 ballistic skill, what's so great about that with Noise Marines? Well, Noise Marines have built-in ignores cover. So we don't have the problem of cover for our Noise Marines when it comes to that whatsoever. So unless your unit that you're targeting has a -1 to hit built in, or a stratagem or an enhancement that gives them -1 to hit, can't talk. Then our Noise Marines are ineligible to be nerfed in that way. You can't look at them and go, okay, no +1 to hit. So you can essentially make our Noise Marines hit on 2s, right? If you're doing some of the specific detachments like Coterie that allow you to reroll 1s in shooting, then you're going to be able to reroll all of those hits, and they will all be successes. Hopefully, you can always roll 1 into a 1, right? But more specifically, that is where the Noise Marines are really going to shine in 11th edition. Unfortunately, we still don't really have much in terms of like stratagems and things that, like, unfortunately we didn't get a Noise Marine specific detachment. Part of me thinks that is because if they gave us that, then we would never run anything else, right? Besides just that 1 DP Noise Marine detachment and other stuff. But personally, I find that Coterie of the Conceited is our Noise Marine detachment right now. Right. Getting that ability to reroll that hit of 1, reroll wound of 1. A lot of the times when you're shooting those Noise Marines, you can get 2/2s a lot of the times. So that reroll 1 really allows you to say, okay, I can guarantee that these hits can do a lot better than they could previously. And by adding that Lord Cacophonist in, it's a really sweet combination of hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then getting sustains on 6s. And this is without talking about their data sheet ability. This is just their pure analog shooting power from their, well, I guess digital if you count the noises, whatever. The Noise Marines are now, they were always offensive, but now they're way more of an offensive tech piece where you can have your infractors going, do I really want to make that charge this turn? Don't want to do that this turn. But my Noise Marines can shoot something, be fine with doing that, battle shock a unit on a terrain piece and an objective. And then we're in the benefits of, okay, well, if you can make those battle shocks happen, the Noise Marines are going to help out a lot more. So let's talk about why the battle shocks, right, are now going to be more useful in 11th, and where that data sheet ability at -1 battle shock for an entire round of for your opponent's shooting turn, or your opponent's entire turn, my apologies. Let's see why that is so effective now, because we did have a major change from that. So the biggest thing is that battle shocks, one, they affect at half strength, not below half strength now. And also that if you are battle shocked, when you get to your command phase, you still have to keep rolling to unbattle shock yourself. Now, previously, that wasn't a rule, right? When you were in the command phase step, you would just unbattle shock. You're like, I'm good. They're chilling, right? Now that's not the case anymore. Now what we have to deal with is we have to deal with the fact that because of the changes to battle shock, our Noise Marines battle shock ability is now way, way, way more effective than it was, because that -1 to battle shock allows us to do because we can stack that -1 to battle shock. That -1 allows us to get a stack of 3 and then force the battle shock with the Lord Cacophonist. I'm going to keep coming back to the Lord Cacophonist because personally, I think you should be running one at this point with your unit. He's gotten to the point where the 3rd Noise Marine is 160 points as of right now, as of the date of this video. And another really big thing about that is that -1 battle shock allows you to then get the upper edge on your opponent, who might have more CP, who might have more ability to generate CP than you. But you can force those objectives and say, you got to go fight somebody because you're battle shocked, dude. You can't hold objectives. Come to me. Come feed my little thing. To wrap all of this up with a really nice little bow, the biggest thing is Ignores Cover is awesome now, and Plunging Fire is your best friend with Noise Marines. If you are not putting those Noise Marines up on a 2nd floor at least once a game, you got to start doing it, because it's really helpful and it will really make those coterie buffs work for you rather than the other way around. Remember, all of this is to make these Noise Marines work for you and not the other way around. Don't try and make the Noise Marines work. They already work for you. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this new format where you get to see my beautiful face a little bit more. And we should have some more videos coming in the future. Thank you guys, and we will see y'all next time.